Okay, so one thing I'd like to read on, and it involves something that I don't think I'm supposed to say on YouTube. So, but I'll let you know what it is in this way. LMNOP, that next letter. You know what I'm talking about. There's the father and son. I think I can say those names. Ron is the son, Jim is the dad, last name Watkins. So there was a documentary on HBO examining them, and I'm certain that they are that letter. We'll call them Quack. They are Quack, and I think it did start out as someone else. Then they took it over when they made 8chan or whatever. I can't remember. It started out as something Chan and turned into another Chan, and that's when I think they took it over. I do think they were working with like people within the administration, but maybe sort of like indirectly, like, you know, how many degrees between the big players. But yeah, I think all of that. So what I want to know is there any justice coming for them? You know, I'm not even sure if what they did was illegal, and I know that they are in the Philippines, but I do wonder, will they ever have to, I don't know, come to be in a trial or anything? I'm just curious, or like just in general, what will become of them? So let's read on that. We're reading on J and R, last name W, who have been running the Quack account. So hopefully you guys get what I'm saying there. I'm gonna flip a few cards. I need some of those, especially for a read like this. We'll see how many we get. Okay. Well, I would say the government is definitely looking at them. I mean, there he is. Page of Swords. Oh, interesting. This might be the original Quack. Swords is like the pen is mightier than the sword, so sometimes I see this as a writer or a creator, someone with an idea. A page would be like more like the original, who was just small time. So that's interesting. I feel like this is all of us looking out, saying, you know, saying who is Quack? And a lot of people who follow this are looking and saying, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Because, side note, they have not posted any drops, as they call them, since mid-November of 2020, right before the election. So that's the sort of search that's happening on the surface for like all of us. Beneath the surface, this is sometimes like the White House for me. This can also be a celebration or a homecoming. So I wonder if it's relating. This was like Biden's White House to me for a really long time. So does that mean the Justice Department is looking? But I don't know. Let me think about that. Here we are, Knight of Wands upside down. This would be like an idea that's twisted, you know? The Knight of Wands would be an idea. I say idea, but wands are really more of a passion, just to be accurate. This is sort of what they did, running with this original idea and making it what it became, which was like this right-wing propaganda. And the fact that it's upside down makes me think that it was just so dark and so awful what they managed to do to people's minds. And lying, the lie. It's like turning everything upside down. Watching back, I also realized this upside down Knight of Wands relates to those people who stormed the Capitol. All those people coming out to battle. The Knight of Wands is reckless and passionate anyway, and upside down the passion could be twisted or confused, which is spot on. So I do believe this Quack conspiracy is coming up in the January 6th investigations. I can't say that's what made them go quiet, since they went quiet a month earlier, but we know those messages drove a lot of that violence. So it makes sense that it's coming up in those investigations, which makes sense with the rest of this reading, as you'll see. Queen of Wands. Let me just throw the rest of these cards and then think about everything. Another upside down page. That would be a payment. Some money exchanged. Secret money. They got shut down. I've been thinking that for a while. I think that the reason they're silent is because they have been somehow forced to be silent. Like I think there might be a sort of investigation where they're like, you're probably going to want to stop. We know you are, and it's become a national security problem. Maybe, let's see, Lovers, In the Hopes and Fears. Let's see. This makes me sad, that hopes and fears, it makes me think of people who've lost their loved ones. They're afraid like that they're going to lose their loved one permanently to this upside down movement. So that's sad to me. I also think this Lovers card is just here to validate the theory that it is the two, the father and son, partnered together, controlling this account. And in the hopes and fears position, I'd say that they are currently afraid and a bit in limbo. And you got a little ding there on that. And in this hopes and fears position, yeah, a little afraid, a little in limbo, wondering what may come. But this could also be like who they partnered with. Let me think. This I'm feeling as like, yeah, like I was saying, kind of the Biden White House, but that it's brought a new energy that I really think is a problem for this cult. Because it goes against everything they predicted. And you know, you can see when something's good. And you can see when something's authentic and real. And I think that's starting to rise up to be a problem for something that's so like sort of twisted and upside down. A Queen of Wands coming in. By the way, I also think this Page of Swords can be freedom of speech in this country, because it is covering, like, why can't they come after these people more? There's like the problem, I don't even want to call it a problem, but it is more of a conversation nowadays, is freedom of speech. Like, how do you stop that? And still be America, you know? That's one of those things that's it's hard for us to wrestle with. Okay, so my thoughts on this card with this card. I feel like the way they have shut it down, at least temporarily, has to do with money. I'm sure they're not making any money, or something has been cut off to them, which this heart being pumping blood to the hole. They have, by stopping the drops, they have helped put an end to some of that dangerous disinformation. And I think they did that by somehow stopping some money flow to them. Well, that's what I think this Queen of Wands is. That there's definitely, like, they are, I think, probably like part of an investigation. I think that could also be what this Lovers card is indicating, that it's not so much just on them, but on their participation with others, this partnership. I don't know. I wonder if it could have to do sort of with the big insurrection. Like that they would be a piece of something they would be looking into. And I do wonder what put an end to it for at least now. Something financial, cutting off some flow there. Now I'm wondering if this payment here could relate to an illegal payment made to them from someone from the Trump camp who's under investigation, like Trump himself or Roger Stone or Bannon or even Michael Flynn, and the discovery of that payment made them the subject of an investigation, so they were able to get a court order for them to stop, or the knowledge that they were the subject of an investigation has just freaked them out enough that they stopped posting to avoid further culpability. So yeah, a woman. This is also my Merrick Garland is coming as a Queen of Wands for me, which is interesting because I did kind of think of that down here with the Biden White House. I think they are definitely looking into it. Maybe it'll come up in some of the hearings or investigations, or at least be sort of like listed in something. Now I do have this celebration card at the end. You know, I definitely don't like to think of them celebrating because that means maybe there's some triumph, but maybe there is. I'm gonna throw a couple more cards on that to get clarity. What is this triumph at the end? Okay, well, it's with a loss. 5 of Cups, terrible loss, triumph. And another 5 of 5. Oh, wow. 5 of Pentacles, which is poverty. So this is interesting. I realize now that's a 6 of Pentacles, not a 5 of Pentacles. And I hate to say it, but in this card, you can literally see a guy dropping coins to feed the beggars. And since quack posts are literally referred to as drops, this tells me the account could become active again once this investigation or whatever it is that silenced them comes to an end. That lost card on the left could still be a loss they endure. Maybe everyone's seeing that they're frauds who predict badly. But the rejoicing at the top tells me plenty of followers will continue to celebrate them if they do return. I will say another way to read this is that we, the public, celebrate as we start to get information thrown to us about all of this. And maybe it'll be a little bit of both. But that freedom of speech, Page of Swords, covering that Hierophant at the heart of the read tells me that they may get their rights returned to them and go right back to what they were doing at some point. This 7 of Rods would be trying to stand your ground and fighting. This would be like legal battles coming at them. So yeah, that additional clarifying card also does suggest that they do manage to stand their ground, which leads to the celebration above it. Here I have a Queen of Swords at the base, which is a card of truth. 6 of Swords, which is a card of like going to calmer grounds. This could be like disappointing truths coming to people. This could be people coming back from the chaos that was created by that quackery and coming back to earth, kind of like join the rest of us. King of Pentacles is always like a trump. Yeah, I think maybe they'll realize this stuff was all tied into a lot of money. Like this wasn't they try to make it seem like some grassroots, or I guess in this case, some military truth teller. No, it was all just a bunch of greedy white guys at the top in their think tanks trying to figure out how to manipulate the public so that they'll hate Democrats who want to tax them. You know, like that's the scheme. It's pretty simple. And they just thought, let's trick everybody in all these different ways. Here we have going back to simpler times in a more neighborly way. Some of this does make me feel like some people will be coming back. Because I'm hoping there's some, you know, Queen of Wands would be putting down some truths. So I'm hoping there's some truths that come out that help people to see and understand, you know, what really went down there. And I'm happy that there are so many things happening, like Rudy Giuliani, and they're going after that. And, you know, Matt Gaetz. I just think they're going to be coming across a lot of things. And, you know, the new White House, the new Merrick Garland, Justice Department, the links between everything, you know? That's what they're hoping to find. You know, I don't see the Judgment card or anything, so I don't even know that I don't see the Sun card. I'm not sure all of this will be exposed in a dramatic way. And to be honest, this 3 of Cups, it could just be saying people are going to continue acting crazy, and it's like they found a community in their cult, and that it might continue somewhat. Like some people just will refuse to come to their senses. They're just kind of blind, you know? They're blind, they're defensive, even though the person's gone and they're not getting any drops. This guy's like dropping. They're like desperate for drops and information and they just can't stop. So that's too bad. Seeing that layer of it. Anyway, that's my read on that. Hope you found that interesting. As always, feel free to chime in if you had any thoughts on the cards as I went along, or if you're getting anything interesting on your end. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.